Ex-Muslims is a fascinating bunch, to say the least. I'm trying to pick my words a little bit nicer and trying to be a little bit more respectful of other people, so we can all agree that fascinating is an adjective that does describe them. They usually have the physique of a Reddit moderator and the facial hair of an obese woman in a trailer park. And another thing about ex-Muslims, although I don't really believe they're real, scientists can't explain them. And another thing that scientists can't explain is our dreams. Our dreams are a very vast and complicated subject with many moving parts. Dreams are even mentioned in the Quran in a few places. The one that stands out to me is the story of Yusuf. And I'm specifically talking about the part where Yusuf is in prison and the other inmates come to him and they ask him if they can interpret their dreams for him. Now, this situation has always kind of stood out to me because this kind of implies that our dreams do have meaning. At least sometimes they do have some kind of meaning. I mean, one of our prophets was able to interpret them and tell others the meaning of the dream. Now, of course, I don't believe that all these interpretations online are correct. So before I continue, I want everybody to understand that proceed with caution with this situation and the story I'm about to explain to you. This is a very personal and big moment for myself, but the meaning behind dreams is a completely different and complicated subject. And when you go searching online trying to find answers or the meanings for your dreams, it becomes really muddy and very vague and usually not correct. And one more thing before I go on, I want to introduce you guys to Philip. He helps me research for these videos. He was an adventurer once, then he took an arrow to the knee, and then now he continues to help me learn things. But anyways, there was a dream I had recently that really stood out to me. It was one of those dreams that whenever you wake up in the morning, it kind of throws your mood off. You kind of feel foggy and weird all day. It was something pretty significant, and there was a situation towards the end of the dream that really meant a lot to me. So I've had pretty intense dreams most of my life. As early as I can remember, I've been having crazy nightmares and crazy dreams. And so I've had a lot of practice. I started learning how to astral project frequently at the age of 15, 16. By the time I was like 18, 19, I was able to control it a lot more. Now, astral projection and lucid dreaming are slightly different, but that's a little bit of a different conversation. So the beginning of this dream started innocent enough. I was with a group of people. We were leaving some kind of college, and one of the people that was with me resembled my childhood friend. And while I was with this group of people, we were trying to go to different bookstores. We went to the first bookstore and we were looking for things, and there was something I was looking for specifically. I can't remember what it was, but that bookstore didn't have it. And then we continued to the next one, and these were just like normal bookstores. There was like a standard Barnes and Nobles with like a cafe on one side and some tables and chairs where you can read at, but the bookshelves were a lot larger. They were a lot bigger than any real bookshelf would ever be. It would be impossible to get to the top of them. So we continued through this second bookstore, and I ended up finding the thing I was looking for. And the other friends I was with, except for the one that resembled a childhood friend, all found the things they needed. Everybody found what we were looking for. I'm assuming it was some kind of like book for college. And the friend I was with, he came to me and he told me, he was like, hey, I need to go to this other store. They have the one I'm looking for, the exact one I'm looking for. They'll have it over there. So we leave the bookstore and we're in this kind of downtown area, but it was more ancient. It was more like medieval times with like brick pavers on the road. Everything was really nice and a little bit tighter, almost kind of like downtown Rome is today. So we're walking through this really slim walkway. There's no way like a car could go through there, but you could fit probably like 3 people side by side. And I'm looking at all the little shops and the things in the windows. And there's like a little cafe on my left, and to my right there was a door, but it didn't look like it had like a big store to it. It was just like a singular door. He proceeds to tell me, hey, I need to go through here. This is the way to go to the bookstore that I need. So we turn, we go through there, and immediately when you enter the room, there's a set of stairs to your right. So you turn to the right and go up the stairs, and then it turns to a left, and there was like a circle, like a kind of a small circle that's an entrance to something. So whenever we get up the stairwell and we see this circle, it kind of had like an outside trim to it that was like rounded out. So he proceeds to enter this circle, enter this kind of like walkway thing. And so he gets fully through it, and I continue to follow him. And I was able to get my head and just like the tops of my shoulders into it. It seemed a bit small. And as I started to pick my head up to look around the area, I noticed it was a very demonic area. It started having sigils. There's all kinds of like evil, dark things that I saw. So immediately my mood entirely changed and I got ready to fight. This is something that's natural for me. Normally I get a fight response in bad things in my dreams. This is due to just practicing over time because I had so many nightmares. I had to find a way to not have them anymore. And so during the day, I imagine myself in these moments and kind of daydream, beating my nightmares so it becomes a natural reaction in your dreams. And in your nightmares, you start to fight back. But anyways, I get this fight response and prepare myself to fight and know I'm going to have to fight something whenever I fully get through this circle. And then immediately the circle kind of closes on the top of my shoulders and I get stuck. I'm not allowed in. They will not let me in this area. And I've been in stuck situations like this before in dreams plenty of times in the past, so I knew how to get out of it. Instead of panicking, I just kind of used my internal monologue and told me that somebody's coming in the stairwell and pull me out. And so that's exactly what happened. Somebody came into the stairwell and like grabbed my leg and pulled me back out of the circle. I thanked the individual immediately after, and then that's when I woke myself up. I was like, I'm done with this dream. That was pretty wild. Now this stands out because I've never had a moment like this specifically. I've never had a moment where I wasn't allowed into an area. Every time in astral or lucid dreams, any area I've wanted to go into, I've been able to go to it. If that was my intention to enter a place, I've always been able to enter a place. But this time, this is the first time ever out of 10 years of astral projecting where I got stuck and was not allowed in a place. Now, this situation made me realize something. The jinn will hide from you. Anything that has negative attention will hide from you. You know, there's a quote everybody says all the time that the greatest trick the devil played is that he doesn't exist. Now, that's probably not the greatest trick, but it is something that does happen. Whenever you continue on this path and you completely remove all these negative things out of your life and you're on top of your prayers and you're doing the things you're supposed to do, they will stay away from you. They become afraid of you. They become nervous just to be around you. When you're praying 5 times a day and you have a strong connection with God, a strong connection with Allah, the negative things that kind of want to harm you will avoid you if you're ready to get rid of them. You know, my intention was to fight. Whenever I was prepared to fight and I was completely rejecting these things in this area and all this demonic negative energy, that's whenever I was not allowed to go there. Whenever I completely decided that this place needs to go, this doesn't need to exist, I was no longer allowed to be there. Now, that being said, I don't entirely believe that this was an astral projection moment. The friend leading me into the circle is a little strange, but I can't really say whether it's jinn or not. You know, it is something that the shaitan would do to trick you, to test you, to try to bring you to an area like this. I didn't really get the signs that this was astral. This felt more like a dream to me. Now, I could be wrong on that. I just am not too sure. There's nothing too loud that's screaming at me telling me that that was shaitan. But anyways, I just wanted to share this with you guys because it was a moment that it really reassured me that I'm on the right path, that I've got rid of all these negative things out of my life, and that they're gone for good.